are live in 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Vanessa The Vivacious Show, Vanessa The Vivacous Files, and typically also Vanessa The Vivacious versus Riverside. However, today we are not doing a Vanessa The Vivacious versus Riverside segment. In fact, I'm very curious to hear if anyone actually cares for them or watches them. If you'd rather watch tutorials with Riverside, that's totally okay with me. I just thought I would check in and see what your thoughts are. So if you're liking the little tidbit tutorials or comments on Riverside and their features, real talk on Riverside, let me know in the comments and I will keep them. If you don't comment, then I will not keep them. Either way, it's been a very fun journey. Riverside, thank you for being such a great sport about it. So let's get down to business. Today is May 6th. For those of you who have had a wonderful Cinco de Mayo, you're probably nursing and drinking all that coffee and water and trying to kind of get your faculties back. And for those of you who are responsible, you're doing pretty good right now. It's about 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, which is the only time, Texas time. And so a lot of us are getting toward that lunch period, but I wanted to make sure I come on today and continue with my daily recording to stay on top of Vanessa The Vivacious Files. So yesterday we did a kind of dedication or a commemoration of our first show and how I used to talk about stories that I found online, such as, weird news, wacky news. But in the spirit of humanity, I wanted to find good news out there. And there actually is a good news platform that publishes nothing but good, heartfelt, inspiring stories, which is awesome. And so just like yesterday, I kind of wanted to share one with you today. Today's story is about two goats that saved a family in Oklahoma. And I don't know why, but that doesn't sound abnormal at all. What it was is that there was an EF4 tornado in Enid, Oklahoma passing through. Of course, Enid, Oklahoma is very familiar to tornadoes, but in this particular one, an EF4 is very strong and there was a lot of debris. And so the pet goats, Percy and Penny, were survivors of this big tornado, and they were able to locate the family because of Percy and Penny the goat. So Percy and Penny found, the scent of the family, and they went and stood on the rubble where the family was trapped underneath, and that helped the crew who was searching for missing people to find the family, all because of the two pet goats. And so the family is noted as saying that anytime in the future when the goats are biting them or headbutting them as they normally do, that they're going to remember that particular moment. So two goats on a farm, Enid, Oklahoma, saved a whole family during a tornado, which is freaking awesome. I thought that was so heartwarming to hear. And so I hope you enjoyed that as well. I will include the link to the website where that story is published in the description of this episode so you can read that full story and also other stories on that network. I definitely recommend reading more stories there. It is an awesome place to find some really good news. And in this time, we could definitely use good news. Again, hope you enjoyed that story. So topics for today include the history of Vanessa the Vivacious, which some of you know, some of you don't, the power of authenticity, and then what we do when we have no hope, but we also have no squad behind us as well to cheer us on. And so I want to begin with the history of Vanessa the Vivacious because that's kind of the easiest subject. Now, I went to school initially in 2002 at TCU in Fort Worth. And there was this icebreaker game where you had to pick an adjective with your name to complement your name. And then the next person picks an adjective for their name. And then that's how you remember the person, by the adjective. And so, Adam the able, right? Charlie the courageous, Vanessa the Vivacious. And so then you had to go back and recite every single person after you. And so I chose vivacious. It just popped in my head. And I know the word to mean full of life and just really, taking life by the hand and doing what you will. So that's what I chose. And it stuck with me for many years. I don't know why exactly. I know that I've always been a very vivacious person, and so it fit so well. So anytime after that where I was able to pick an adjective or pick a name for a group or just, utilize another word to identify myself, I chose vivacious, and then it became part of my brand. It became my company name, and it's part of who I am. It is who I am. So the name Vanessa the Vivacious came from a icebreaker game in college, and that's where it all started. So craziness, right? It's crazy where we pick the names that we use from and the stories behind the names and how they stay with us throughout our lives. It's insane. Now let's talk about authenticity. That's also kind of coupled with Vanessa the Vivacious. So I have thankfully always been a very authentic person in that I don't measure myself to anyone else, and I don't look to other people to aspire to be them. I've always just been interested in my own path and trying to make that path as great as possible. So I feel that that's a superpower in a sense, because if we could focus on ourselves and not look at other people and try to emulate them, then we maintain our unique branding, right? We maintain our authenticity. And so for me, it's important to not try to emulate other people or try to aspire to be like other people, because you yourself are powerful, and being in your authenticity, being in your authentic self is the most amazing path for you. So I highly recommend just elevating yourself in whatever which way you find, but also not looking at other people or trying to be like them, but be yourself. Now, when it comes to being yourself, you don't always have a bunch of people behind you, because it's a very lonely path in trying to develop yourself. I've heard this, I've seen it, I'm living it. It's a very difficult path. And what keeps me going is, I guess I would say what keeps me going is just the end goal. The end goal of having achieved everything that I wish to achieve, and then knowing that during that time that I helped humanity or that I helped someone else, because all of the work that I've ever done has always had a component of helping other people. And so I know that my life's work will always include helping others. And so getting to the end goal and achieving everything I wish to achieve, that will mean everything, because it will mean I have helped so many people. So that's what keeps me going. I think it's important for all of us to identify something or someone or some goal that is our endpoint, because that helps us to drive ourselves to get from where we are to where we're going. Now, I made this video yesterday. I filmed the podcast yesterday, and I remember saying, I'm going to do great things. I'm going to do great things regardless of who's with me or where I am. I'm going to do great things. And that's the common denominator, is doing great things regardless of what's going on around you. So I just encourage you guys to push yourself regardless of whether you have a huge support system behind you or whether you have no one. Push yourself the same amount. I think that's a very important tip. And I take that for myself too. Basically, just about everything that I share, I take for myself, or I tell myself as well, because I'm on the same boat. We're all trying to live this life and to live as best as we can, as authentically as we can, and help change the world as much as we can. Even though it doesn't seem like it, there are plenty of people out there that want to help the world and help each other. And the best that we can do is keep going, and remember that there are also other people out there that want good for the world. So don't give up hope in other humans. There are definitely good humans in the world, and I know so because I've interviewed like a jillion of them. So more to come on Humanity 2.0 in terms of really good humans. Hope you guys watch that show as well. Now, any questions? Anything at all around podcasting, around Humanity 2.0, around anything production-wise, I'm happy to answer. So if you have questions for me, please list them in the comments or send me an email, and I will gladly answer your questions on future episodes. This show is meant to kind of be like a self-exploration, but I also want to have an open line of communication with everyone else that's watching. So if I've ever hit on a subject that really kind of struck a chord with you, ask me a question on it. Ask me a question as it pertains to your experience or my experience. I'm totally an open book, so I would love to have that exchange with you guys. This is a very short episode today because not a whole lot happened yesterday. I took a really good nap. I got to use a hot tub, which was awesome. And so yeah, yesterday was kind of like a rest day, which we all definitely need. One thing I did do is I made some materials for sponsors. So I'm heavily seeking out sponsors so we can take this show international and build our team. So if you know sponsors, let's get them in there, get them connected to me, because I definitely want to expand our team as it pertains to Humanity 2.0 podcast, the network, Humanity 2.0. I'm sorry, the Humanity Network. It's a 501c3 that I want to create where we impact humanity positively. So we'll see how that goes, but we need a village. So hopefully you guys can help us to seek out that village. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Vanessa The Vivacious Files. See you tomorrow. And above all, join us next time on Vanessa The Vivacious podcast. And don't forget to be vivacious.